Welcome to a night like no other. To a night where the supernatural play front and center on our minds.
Spooky.
Right now, I'm your host, Superfly Johnny Lee, the podcast god. And to my left, returning now, we got B Money, four-time state champion.
What's up? What's up?
And to my right, we got Sean Johns.
Well, hello, everybody. How are
And
you?
tonight, we'll be joined by Leon Lexington and his boy Kenny
When they get here.
to talk about the supernatural, because we've all been there. We've all experienced something once in our life.
Something creepy on your shoulder, or felt like somebody's been watching you.
That's
baby.
right.
Everybody's had that one. That one little weird thing you can never explain. And tonight on the podcast, guys, we're gonna go We're gonna go over all the shit that we've seen.
Like, there's so many experiences that the world has that you cannot explain. Like when you hear things that go bump in the night and you try to logically say, oh, I know what that was, but then you realize, holy shit, that's not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And you're just hoping and praying that it's not
Right.
Eddie or Sean.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shut the hell up.
Or Baby
Sean,
Wolf.
or Sean Diddy.
Hey,
Oh,
now.
God, no.
Hey, now.
Or Jaundice.
No, I don't go by jaundice. That's not me. Where'd that jaundice crap come in at, Johnny?
Jane, she crazy.
No, that's not. No, somebody else had the jaundice.
No, Jane crazy Jaundice
No, she
before.
didn't.
No, yes, she
No,
did.
she didn't.
Yes, she did. I remember.
I don't have jaundice.
Wandis, a.k.a. Cena's
Shut
brother
up. Shut up.
from another mother.
Alrighty. Let's get back on track, guys.
Where are we going to start tonight, guys?
Who wants to tell their experience first?
I've been on here to tell experiences before with ghosts. Johnny has. I think it's only right if
Sean
you're
goes?
ready.
I'm ready.
That's right.
Shoot
I'm
it
ready.
off for us, brother.
What happens? I'm gonna be
Alrighty.
sharing.
Well, my supernatural experiences are very few, but I have noticed them, and they've really messed with my head, and I can be confused. For those that don't know, I lost my dad in 2006 due to liver cancer. Everybody knows how we at the NiceGuyAndy feels about cancer. Fuck cancer.
Yep, fuck cancer.
Anyways, but after my dad died in 2006, I went through years of depression, this, that, and the other, missing my dad, obviously. You miss any parent you lose, or any close friend, family member, what have you. You give anything to talk to them, and this, that, and the other. I went through it bad. I had lost, I was going through a rough patch mentally, as I have gone through from time to time. Was not feeling like anything I was doing right. I had a wife, 3 kids, a mother in poor health. I wasn't thinking anything I was doing was good enough. Fast forward to one Saturday night, Sunday morning, what have you, 2, 3 in the morning, I'm up. I could not sleep. I didn't have my TV on. I didn't have my phone on me. I was not feeling, and I'm sitting there. I'm praying. As soon as I said amen for my prayer, and I'm wide awake. This isn't a dream. This isn't a hallucination. I wasn't on any kind of drugs. I wasn't even drinking that night. I didn't drink that night. Back then, I was drinking. I look up, and plain as day, my dad's there. Wasn't saying a word. But he looked at me, was standing right in front of me, and you know how a parent will tousle your hair?
Yep.
Johnny, I know you wouldn't know. You don't have hair.
Hey,
But,
Yeah, I understand. I got you.
yeah, got you. Right. He, tousle your hair or something if you're just going through it, just kind of run their hand through your hair like that. My dad did that, and it was like that, but he was gone, but I saw a smile on his face, and he tousled my hair, was basically him saying, keep doing what you're doing. It'll all work out. And sure enough, it did after a while, but that really messed with me. And my other thing is my mother passed away in 2015. Hers was a heart attack in her sleep. I'm driving into work probably about a month after her passing and after the funeral. I'm going somewhere, and of course, where I have to go into work, they decide to work on the roads in that area, so I'm going to be stuck in that.
Amelia Rose says, hello, Father.
Emily, that's Sam. That's
and
my
Kaya
daughter.
says,
Kaya.
hey.
Kaya. I've told you this. It's Kaya.
Damn.
Next time you mess it
Kaya.
up, she's going to come here and smack you upside the head. I'm kidding,
Micaiah.
Kaya. Don't make fun of her name. She is a witch. She will stalk your ass.
What stock?
She will cut you up.
He says stock.
She will cut you. Anywho, my mother, Emily, that's my unofficial daughter. That's my buddy Sam, but she's adopted me as her dad. You're grounded, by the way. Anyways, no. But my mother, I swear to God, I picture my mother just sitting there going, why'd you go this far to get to work? With a cigarette in her mouth. I'm like, what the? Just, I see that, and I had to straighten up the car because I almost wrecked the car. I was like, oh, good Lord, I almost joined your mama. Because it's just, you seeing a long dose, and you see it plain as day for, if nothing but a few seconds. Like, I believe that ghosts exist, but up until those two instances I just mentioned, I'd never seen them. So I'm not saying I believed them or I don't need to believe at that point, but I believed at that point. I was just like, I know your loved ones are watching and stuff like, this isn't like spiritual. I'm not going to preach at nobody. I am a Christian. I may not act like it, but that's on me. I see what I see, and I believe that your loved ones are watching over you. They're not just gone to either heaven or hell.
Emily said, first of all, not true. I didn't adopt you. The bus driver did. Second of all, you can't ground me. I'm 18 now.
Keep on, Sam. I'll take your switch from you. That's just our joke. I love that little cow. So, yeah, those are my experiences with supernatural. I've also felt like I've taken pictures on, like, click cameras, and literally I see...
Oh, man, have I ever showed you the picture? I went to Waverly
He showed
Hills.
me
Sorry
it.
to cut you off.
Oh, no. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Big Daddy.
You said pictures, and I went to I want to say almost 2 years ago, I went to Waverly Hills for the first time, and we was waiting to go in, of course, and they show you this like thing that's like projected onto the building and stuff, and then there's like you go in. So I was just taking pictures of it, and I don't know if you know like what a ghost orb is or like ever seen one.
I have.
If you look right there,
seen pictures like that.
But here's the thing:
I've taken pictures like that.
It's a live photo, and you see it right there.
Yeah.
When I hold the live photo, it's not there at all. Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mind blowing.
That is mind blowing.
Yeah.
And Sam, I don't know how to play Mario Kart on the Switch. I never had it on the Switch. Thank you very much.
I love Mario Kart.
Yes, me too.
What? Hold on. Who do we play as Mario characters? And let me go first.
Okay.
Let me go first. When I was a kid, it was always Donkey Kong. But I've gotten a Switch, gotten the new Mario Kart, and I run Dry Bones. That's my favorite guy.
Dry Bones. Okay, that's a good one.
Specifically, I use the Mercedes with the Mercedes tires and the little cloud
nice
glider.
Nice.
Great combo, by the way.
Okay. I'd have to get me a Switch to do it, but yeah.
Who would you say yours is?
Wario.
Wario?
Yep.
Okay. Emily Rose says she's Peach. She is Peach. She's not a Peach. She's a pain in the ass, but she does play as Peach. Last time I really played Mario Kart was for Super Nintendo, and I always played as Luigi on those. I can't explain why. I was Luigi, and I would dominate.
Yoshi was good too.
Yoshi? That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, that's a solid choice. In the new one, you can pick whatever color you want Yoshi to be. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, there are a bunch of Yoshis. And here
What's
he
up,
is, the
Leon
man of
Lexington?
the hour.
The man
just
of the
talked
hour.
about ghosts.
Too sweet to be sour. What's up, brother?
Leon Lexington in the house. Kenny, you
boy-
can
my
sit
boy
over here,
Kenneth.
bud. I'm going to step
Black
out and
Cat
let
Kenny
Ken have this
Mulligan.
seat.
But
Kenny, you can sit here, bud.
here's an experience because I've lived at a house that had activity. Like, I lived on Preston Avenue for a majority of the early 2000s. That's where I dealt with the ice storm. Couldn't get inside my driveway. Well, my dad, he would see these two little girls because he thought that Brandon and Scarlett were laughing, but the whole time, they were asleep. Dad opens his eyes and he's looking above himself, and there's these two little girls floating above his head. They're smiling and laughing. He thought for sure Dad was scarring Brandon after he put them to bed. It wasn't them. It was not. They were right there, and they disappeared as soon as Dad got up. And there was another time where in our living room we had this mirror that hangs all the way up above the wall. Well, Dad walks into the living room, and there inside that mirror stands a 7-foot tall man staring back at him. Dad had no explanation on who this was or what they want, but he was just staring at Dad the whole time. And disappeared. Talk about experience, because this house.
So everybody in here, we all believe in the paranormal.
Yep.
Yes,
I wanted to start this podcast. The main reason was because in October, you and B Money did the Spooktacular.
Yep.
And that was like for a month long. That was the best shit on the podcast, in my opinion. Like there was other shit going on, but that shit right there, like. And it was about the same time that I started getting into, like, ghost stories on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I watch, like, every single fucking day, like, at work, anywhere. Like, if I clean my house, I'm listening to ghost stories. So, I wanted
That's
to...
how I go to sleep. Like, you ever watch the Mr. Nightmare
Oh,
guy?
bro.
Yeah.
Every fucking night.
I go
That's
to
the
sleep
man.
to that shit.
Bro, it sucks because I fucking listen to him. Like, I've been listening to Mr. Nightmare since I was in high school type shit.
Yeah.
And, like, I'll go years without listening to him just so that when I come back to him, I can listen to fucking, like...
He's
a million videos.
There's a lot of the ones that they do, but he's the only one where I'm like his voice.
Yeah,
it's his voice.
Yeah, like it gives me, he can give me chills. When I listen to the other guys, it's like they're good, but they're not
Exactly.
Mr. Nightmare good. But I wanted to do this just because, like, I think we have a lot of people on the podcast that believe, and it's just like I want to get everybody's experiences out there,
Exactly.
and it's a good way. It's a good thing to talk about. So we all believe here. We all,
Damn straight we do.
For how long? How long is everybody? What was y'all's? I want to hear everybody's first experience of like when they started to believe.
I want to say ever since I was a kid, I've wanted it. It's even if I like really don't believe in it, I want to believe in it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that's taken me in like so many like. Do I really believe Bigfoot's real? Like, they have 2 million shows and they haven't found the guy, but I still want to believe Bigfoot.
Me too.
And stuff like that. So ever since, like, I've been a little kid, it's like ghosts and stuff like that. I've always wanted to believe in it.
See, I'm on the page of like I believe in everything because when somebody like if they ever like, hey, bro, Bigfoot's real, they got videos of it, they captured him. Like, all right, yeah, I believe. I've always been a believer. I'm that.
I want to see Bigfoot smoking a big doobie.
Yeah, but when I was younger, like my mom is real into like
2 foot.
She's always said that like our family was like witch people, like they all like they could do spells and they could read your fortune and shit like that. So like I always believed in that sense. But ghosts was always like I never really believed in ghosts until I got into like high school when I had some experiences with it. Yeah. What about you, Kenny? Is this mic on?
Yeah, it's on.
All right.
I've always been a big skeptic of things, so I always decided I would hunt for the truth myself, and it got me into some situations that were rather unpleasant. That
you got the voice for this.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yes, he does.
You're scaring me right now, big dog.
Some of the things I found out.
I gotta listen to this with both headphones on, dude.
Not only do I believe ghosts are real, but there's some bad shit out there too. Whether they be demons or angels or apparitions that have just turned rotten. There's some bad shit out there. So when you go hunting, you end up finding a lot more than you originally came for. So it's like when I was a young kid, there was always certain fears, like the fear of getting locked in the dark, the fear of drowning, things like that. And when you get to be older, it's like you don't really have those fears as much anymore. You're like, there's nothing there. But what I've also found out is when you're alone, these apparitions and things seem to attach to you more because you don't have anybody else to fall back on. It's you and your will, nobody else's. Like, if you're here with me, Leon, and some fucking demon walks through the door, I'm gonna want to protect you.
I'm just gonna go tell it to go fuck itself.
But if I'm in here alone and a demon walks through the door, I'm gonna sit back like
spooktacular.
What is going on here? So, let's say one of my first experiences, when I was a little kid. And I was just like a baby in a crib. I was left in a crib, and there was a pillow that was outside the crib on this couch. And my mom said I'd be fine, right? And when she left, this pillow got up and started crawling towards me.
Oh shit!
Like a worm. And this fucking pillow had me screaming bloody fucking murder. And when my mom came back in, the pillow wasn't moving anymore.
Damn.
I was like, what's going on? What's going on? It's like, I said, the pillow, it's moving. It was coming towards me. And she was like, it's just a pillow. There's nothing going on.
Right.
But even as a little kid, I started to notice these things that when you're alone, they seem to be able to attack you more than when you're with people.
Yeah.
Like when these, that's why I really don't believe as much when I watch these ghost adventure stories. Like on TV.
Yeah, because they do fake shit.
I feel like they definitely play it up a bit because the spirits don't come out as much when you're in a group. Definitely less.
I remember one episode where they're like, Aaron, bro, go down to the basement, lock yourself in the basement, just sleep in the bed, dude, sleep in the bed.
Yeah.
And they got him in the bed, and I was like, I know this shit is fucking fake because they got him in the bed and the bed started fucking rattling. And he's like, oh,
and that is not how it works.
Raising up. Like, yeah, I believe in that shit. It doesn't work like that. Like, I don't think it.
Exactly.
I don't think it works like that.
It's much more psychological
and nefarious. Yeah.
It's very insidious the way these demons will work against you. It's like my buddy. He told me a story. Of what happened down at Lock 7 on the Kentucky River. And he said that when he was 8 or 9 years old, he walked down there one night and he caught some people doing a black magic ritual. And he said he ran off, but the next day, in the next couple of days, there was reports of two missing girls who happened to drown in the river. And didn't happen by accident.
Yeah.
He says those people down there doing that black magic ritual sacrificed those two girls in the river. And I was like, that sounds like a load of fucking bullshit. That sounds like an absolute load of fucking hawk-eyed bullshit to me. So I was like, you know what, motherfucker? I'm going to go down there. And I went down there alone at 3:33 a.m. in the morning to Lock 7 on the river. Got out of my car, locked the door, walked all the way down the little path down to the riverside itself where there's a little sandy beach. You can walk across the sand, and it's nice. It's relaxing out there. I've been out there a lot. But this night, when I got down to the beach, this creeping silence slowly took over. No bugs, no nighttime chirping, no sound at all. Just this eerie, dead silence filled the entire area. It was like an ocean wave slowly coming closer to me from the water. Like I could feel this energy starting to wash over me. The only way I could describe this energy as a slow creeping dread. And as it filled me with this uneasiness, I began to think to myself, nah.
Get the fuck out of here.
No. I was like, nah, this is all in my head. I'm just imagining things. It's just a calm, cool night. I was like, I started to slow my breathing, calm down. I was like, everything's fine here. That's when I looked out at the water, and I noticed what looked like a tree branch was coming up out of the water. Just the little bits of this tree branch. And I'm watching it, and it moves a little bit. And then it starts to come out of the water some more, this tree branch. And I'm thinking, like, oh, it's just floating down the river, right? That's when I noticed that it's not following the water current. It's staying in place. And that's when that uneasy feeling reminds me that what I'm looking at is not natural, because that's when a second tree branch came out of the water, and then a third and a fourth, and then I realized they weren't branches, they were fingers, hands, and then arms coming out of the water, like this, coming out of the water. And I was like, nope, I'm absolutely not believing that those are two fucking arms coming out of the water right now. I'm not believing it. It looked exactly like two pairs of arms coming out of the water. Oh shit. So I was like, nah, nope. And that's when I seen the top of their head and the hair. The matted green and black hair from being left at the bottom of a river. And then I seen their forehead, and I seen their gray malted skin. And just before their eyes came out of the water, I turned and looked away, because I didn't want to see what was waiting for me when their faces finally appeared out of the water. So I began walking back up the mountainside, trying to get back to my car. As I was walking through the sand, that's when I heard the unmistakable sound of wet footsteps plopping in the sand behind me. And I was like, no, I'm not going to run. I'm just going to walk. But they were getting closer. So I started to walk a little bit faster, and so did they. And then that's when I heard the footsteps sound like they really began to pick up pace. And that complete doom that you feel in your heart when you know something is completely wrong. It sent that adrenaline shooting through my blood, but still, something told me not to run. So I just picked up a fast walking pace, got to the top of the hill, and started walking towards my car, fumbling for my keys, and I pulled out my keys, but I couldn't hear them anymore. I knew they were there. I knew they were there behind me. As I stuck the key into the lock, fumbling, shaking, because the adrenaline's now hit my veins completely, so I'm having shakes. But I unlock the door, pull the door open, set down, close it, stick the key in, try to turn it over. It doesn't turn on. It goes It's my old Nissan Sentra. It always had startup issues. So I was like, whatever. It's going to start on the third time. Hit it a second time. nothing. And I wait, and I sit back in the darkness before hitting that third. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm sitting in the darkness. And that's when I see a smiling face and hands on the glass, and I see the most evil, demented, insane smile I've ever seen painted across the face of this little girl. Right here, right in my peripheral, and I could see her eyes piercing right into the side of my temple. And in my peripheral, I could see both of them. One was closer than the other, but the other was just standing behind her smiling. But everything in me told me not to look at him, because I learned something. Don't remember where from, but say if you look into the eyes of a demon, that's when they're able to control you. That's when they're able to take over and possess you. So I decided I was not at all going to look at these two next to me. I don't care if you just came swimming out of the river. Why would you follow me back to my car if you were normal people, right? Like, why would you? The demented smile that was painted across this girl's face was pure evil. So, absolutely.
So do you think that these were? Do you think these were real apparitions, or do you think it was like a, not a glitch in the Matrix, but like a time stamp on reality? You said that before that it was like dark magic. Do you think it was just like reality bending in between itself to make this happen, or do you think if you would have gotten out of the car and like fucking punched one in the face, they would have fucking went down?
This was black magic. This was the work of black magic, Leon. There was little that could have been done, because apparitions like that, I could have opened the door and they could have disappeared, but they're still there. They're still around.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And I just decided to leave because I got all the information I needed right there. There was no reason for me to... I didn't need to fight them. I didn't need to run. That's why I didn't run, because I was like, they can't actually hurt me, but I know that they can possess people, right? Exactly. So that's why I just walked back to my car, and the evil, smiling, demented faces told me everything I needed to know. That story was true, Leon. How else?
You've told me that story multiple times over Xbox party chats and in real life, so like I believe you. The amount of times that you've told me that story, and every single time it lines up around the same way. Like when I first heard it, I was like, that's complete bullshit. And then the second time I heard it, I was like, also maybe complete bullshit. Third time I heard it, I was like, yeah. It's like he told this story precisely 3 times in a row. I fucking believe you. But I definitely think there's shit out in these fucking woods. Like the fucking Kentucky fucking woods are no place to joke.
I had something for you. I don't know if I can show you this, but
that was sent me this before at fucking Waverly.
Yeah, and there it is right there on the live photo, and then it disappeared. This is like a projector screen, and then this shit's all like projected. Mm-hmm. But whatever the fuck that is,
that's definitely something. My story is less.
So, right there, it's a live photo. If I hold it, it's not there at all. And all this shit is like projector, like it's a projector thing, and it's got like people in the windows that's projecting. It says the Waverly shit, but whatever the fuck that was not part of it.
Yeah. My first-hand story of ghosts is definitely of anything, is definitely more not crazy like that. Fucking when I was in high school, I was a sophomore year, I was doing fucking acid all the time. Like just all the fucking, like every fucking weekend, me and my boys were gonna get a hit of acid and we're gonna fucking trip balls for fucking days on end, and that's just how it's gonna be. And one weekend, my little brother was out at his cousin's house. All my friends, usually like, my house was like the party house. If we're getting fucked up, we're going to my house. And so all my friends were just like, yeah, I'm going to be out of town this weekend, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not going to be around. 4 or 5 of my friends all like, yeah, I'm not going to be around. So, and I've had my like a couple weeks before this happened, my cousin's girlfriend Joe, his girlfriend right down here, like literally right in those apartments down there in Eastland, she killed herself.
Oh dang.
Yeah, in those apartments. So it was like a 5-minute walk from my mom's house to those apartments where she killed herself. And like years before this, my cousin had got murdered also. But it was more like down in like the downtown area of like by UK and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, like usually my friends come over and we all get fucked up and shit. But this weekend, no, everybody had plans. I was the only person in my mom's house. and I was sober, and we're just downstairs in the garage of my mom and dad's house, and they're like, we're just talking about my grades. I'm like, dude, you need to get your grades up. You got to graduate. And we hear my mom and dad has an alarm system at their house, so it's like if you open the door, it goes doot doot doot, whichever door. And so me and my mom and my dad are just talking downstairs, and we hear the doot doot doot, whatever door. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's Colin. He decided not to go do his plans, or it could be fucking whoever. My mom and dad's house stays popping. Everybody and their mom fucking shows up out of the blue whenever. And so me and my mom go upstairs, look over the whole house. The door wasn't open or nothing. So like that was another thing. The door wasn't open. None of the doors were open. We just take a good little swing around the house, and
exactly.
My mom and dad, they didn't have my little brother that night, so they're like, all right, we're going to go get some dinner. That was weird as fuck. Are you sure you don't want to come with us? And we had just gotten this dog, this little Pomeranian. So I was like, nah, I'll chill here with the dog. Like, I don't want to just hang out with the dog, chill out, maybe smoke some weed. And they're like, all right, bet. Like, we're going to leave. So they leave, and I'm sitting on the couch playing on my phone, fucking with the dog, probably about to go smoke. And I didn't want to go downstairs in my room because I've already been freaked the fuck out. Like, who wants to fucking in a house with fucking ghosts? I don't want to do no shit. And I'm sitting on the couch, and I just hear from my mom and dad's room, and I'm like, that's fucking weird. But like when I first heard it, I didn't really process it. I just took it on the chin, just kept there, and then I fucking heard it again, and I heard it more profoundly, and I knew that it was the laughs of my friend Amelia who killed herself, and my cousin Caleb, and I jet out the fucking door. Jet the fuck out of the door. I call my cousin Darren. I'm like, hey, bro, come fucking pick me up. He's like, dude, I'm on the interstate. Like, I'm heading back to my house.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that was the weirdest shit. That was the first time where I was like, all right, there may be something else here. Give me 1 second.
Exactly.
Another thing at Waverly, and this was really weird. So, we're just standing there in line. It's like they put you in like a group of like 20 to send you into the haunted house, and so we're just waiting there in line, and I just feel really weird all of a sudden, and like I'm like kind of like fumbling, like, but it feels like, have you ever been to like Gatlinburg and there's one of those like distorted rooms where it's like uphill, but it's not really, like you have to, like, it's weird, like one of those like, or like a,
thank you.
Do you know what I'm talking about? You ever been to one of those, oh shit, my bad. You ever been to one of those places in like Gatlinburg and it's like the distorted room?
Oh yeah, like Wrigley's.
Yes, and that, like, that's how I felt. Like just and I was trying to start walking, then like it felt like I was like, and I was just standing on flat ground. It was weird as fuck, and it was at Waverly.
I've believed in ghosts since I was a kid. Like next door, my cousin sleeps next door. Mm-hmm. At Brown. Every time it hits dark, about 9 to midnight, occasionally you'll hear children giggle. My cousins swore up and down that they thought that was my little cousin Jessa or Kaylee laughing. It's not.
And I think that's the scariest shit, because it's like the kid ghosts, I feel like having more nefarious shit going on with
because
them. Like they want to trap you. They want you to,
because it's actually a demon.
Yeah,
a demon taking the form of a child.
And like I was saying earlier about like my friends and shit, I can deal if I was at my mom's house and I heard some old lady being like, "Ooh, I'm a ghost," like I'm gonna go up to that fucking ghost. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, bro, get the fuck out of my house. Like, this is my fucking place. Get the fuck out." But like,
pay me rent.
Yeah, I'm more scared of seeing. I'm more scared of seeing, like how I said it was my friends that I could hear. I knew that was their laughs. Like, I've heard their laughs a million times. I'm more scared of seeing somebody that I know is a ghost than I would ever be of seeing like some bitch in fucking period clothing and like, ooh, spooky, Scooby-Doo.
Exactly.
Like,
so that's what freaks me out, because my grandma Lee passed away in 2021. Mm-hmm. Well, a couple days later, Jamie, who lives next door, is standing at his kitchen window. And he looks outside, and there's Grandma Lee sweeping the outside.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And it freaked him out so bad that he didn't want to come outside for a while because how can you explain seeing Grandma Lee doing something when she just passed away from dementia?
Right.
Just a few months later, earlier.
Yeah, that's spooky
I heard
as fuck.
there's an entity that is able to copy sounds and
Mimic.
people's voices, a mimic, yes. And this is what I think is able to replicate your memories, Leon. The memories that you have, it's somehow able to take her voice and mimic it.
I didn't get no dark energy from that night. I was more like how I said earlier. I was more scared of the fact that I could run into some. Like everybody was like, "Why didn't the fuck didn't you go back there and see if they were back there?" Because fuck that, I don't want to see my dead fucking homies.
Exactly.
Like I didn't feel no dark energy, but I definitely felt some sort of energy. But I don't think it was nothing like that. Like I said, I'd been doing a fuck ton of acid, which also opens up like your spiritual gland and shit like that. But
Yep.
my mom was there earlier, so I have a account that we did hear something earlier on in that night. But like I said, she killed herself probably 2 or 3 weeks before that happened. So I think it was just like she was in the area. It's the same. It's like 5-minute walk. So in my mind, it was more of like she was coming back to see the house one last time. Cause
Yeah.
and a couple weeks before that, we had my cousins were just like they were staying over because they got like either kicked out of their apartment or something else, and they were doing laundry and shit. And this guy named Tyrese was downstairs in the garage, and he heard some girl like whisper into his ear. So I do think that it wasn't a mimic. I do think it was her, but you could be onto something.
But also, to add to your mimic thing, never speak back to a mimic or acknowledge them. Because you do, you're fucked. Just like a demon. Stare a demon inside the eyes, they control you. A mimic does the same thing.
I want to know. So you said that you went out hunting for things and stuff like that, and I just want to know by hunting what have you done, or like how have you like sought out all these kind of not quest, but
On side quests for
Yeah,
demons. you get more XP if you side quest.
Yes!
Yeah. In my early teenage years, I was a bit rebellious, and there wasn't much to do, so I decided I would go ghost hunting at night, and that's what led me to these 2:30 a.m. to like 4 a.m. adventures where I'd go walking around my hometown trying to find things, just walking down the street, listening, seeing what I could see. And I seen a lot of things while I was out there. I have a lot of stories, and I've forgotten a lot of stories as well. And a couple of times I would bring people with me because I would think, all right, well, if I can see these things, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe I need to be on some fucking medication or something. So I was like, I'm going to bring some people with me, some different people, some of my friends, cousins, family, you know. It's like, we're going to go walk around town, see if we see anything odd. And each time, the people that I would bring with me would also see these little apparitions and people who were walking around but weren't actually there. Or like, see if I can remember one. For example, the railroad incident. One night, me, 2 of my friends, and my cousin went to walk down the railroad tracks at somewhere around 1 a.m. in the morning.
Was this in Wilmore or Nicholasville?
Wilmore.
Or Wilmore.
Oh. And so we start walking down these railroad tracks, and we get a good ways down on the railroad tracks before the overhead lights for one of these train station overhead things come on. You see the flashing red lights, you know the train's going to be coming. She's like, oh, shit, train's heading our way now. But the red flashing light starts, and as soon as the red flashing light starts, that's when we start hearing music and people laughing in the darkness out here on the railroad track. And when I look at my buddies, I'm like, are you hearing that? And I was like, yeah, I'm hearing some kind of music. Can't really make out the words or nothing. But I hear some people. Like, there's nobody out here though, right? It's when I start to pinpoint the sound. Sounds like it's coming from on top of this railing that has the red lights flashing, and it's like probably 20 feet up because the train has to pass under this structure. And so we're assuming at this point someone has climbed up the ladders on the side of the structure and
They're
got
listening
on
to a fucking Dan Stanhope fucking comedy special on the fucking top of the railroad on their iPhone.
Yeah. So we assume that they've climbed up the ladder to the top of this platform and are playing music and fucking around up there. Because that is where the sound is originating from, and they're nowhere around us, obviously. We can see all the places around us. And there's the closest thing before we got to the railroad tracks was a trailer. And when I walked up this trailer, it looked abandoned, like no one could be living in this trailer. But as soon as I walked up to the back window, I was met with a face, just some person staring back at me, and I was staring at them. I'm like, what the fuck? But they didn't jump back or move or anything. They just stared at me with a complete, just true neutral nothingness, just stared right into my soul.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, what the fuck, dude? So I turned to look at one of my buddies. They also see the face in the window, and he's like, I don't want to go down there. But I was like, I'm going to keep walking on down the railroad tracks. I kept walking, and eventually they decided to follow me because they didn't want to be just left in the darkness. And that's where we come back to where I had heard this music on top of the railroad thing, and we're waiting because the red lights are flashing. We're waiting for the train to come, and we see the light from the train in the distance coming. So we're just going to wait it out, right? Standing off to the side, this is the railroad platform. We're standing off to the side, looking up at this platform where the music and the laughter and the people are coming from. And there's no way that you could now get down without us seeing, because there's a bright-ass train light that is now covering the whole area. We're sitting here listening to them, playing music, laughing, like, hey, what you doing up there? And they respond to us. They're like, we're just chilling. There's fucking nobody up there. We're not seeing nobody. And we're like, all right. Well, the train's getting closer and closer and louder until it drowns out their music and their laughter. And the train's coming through. Right before it goes under, I'm staring at the top of that platform. And it is like bare metal. There's nothing to hide behind or under or around.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen, like, whenever you go to, like, a railroad,
Yep.
like, at least if you pass over it.
I've seen it before, too.
It's like that big metal
Yeah.
thing. It's got lights on it and shit.
There's fuck all for them to hide behind. Nothing for them to hide behind. And a bright train light illuminating the entire area. Like, I can see the platform. I can see all the way to the little garage building over here. A little bitty tree line. I can see someone's house in the distance. Like, I can see there's nothing for no one to hide behind. And we're sitting here. This train passes by. Train goes by. It takes a minute or two. And then we're back in the darkness. No more music. We're like sitting here in the darkness like, these people still here? Suddenly, that's when 3 girls come through the darkness from the other side of the train track. By the way, never seen them. Never seen them go up, come down. As soon as the train passed by, they were just on the other side of the train tracks. Before the train passed by, there was absolutely nothing on the other side of the train tracks. But they came over and started talking to us, and they said, yeah, we're from out of town, because it's a college town, Wilmore is. So they're like, yeah, we're going to the college here.
Asbury, yeah.
Yeah, we're from the college out of town, and we're like, all right, cool. You want to walk back over there? And they was like, oh, we have a little shortcut. Oh, cool. All right. So we follow them back there, say our goodbyes. Like, that's pretty cool, meeting you on a railroad track, whatever. They walk across the street, and me and my buddy are communicating. We say, like, that was cool meeting them. It's cool.
Yeah.
And we look back, and now we're looking at the Asbury University yard, and it is completely empty. Absolutely, utterly empty. Like, they had enough time to cross the street, but not enough time to walk down that entire Asbury yard and inside a building, which, by the way...
I've been working in the right there where you turn by that Shell station. I've been working in I think it's like the Theological Center or something. It's like there's like a first building like right there, and that's or right by the Asbury Inn. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been working right there actually.
Yeah. So I don't really have an explanation for how they were on the railroad tracks and then weren't. They appeared behind the railroad train after it passed, and then they disappeared in the middle of the yard. Just walk across the street and blinked out of existence. By the time they hit the sidewalk, they had blinked out of existence.
So, do you think whenever you go looking for it, you find it more? Because I feel like there's a part of me that's like, if I just woke up one night and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the fucking Castlewood Park where. People have always said the castle at Castlewood is haunted. Like, that whole park area is haunted. I'm gonna sit out there and I'm gonna look for ghosts. I feel like they're giggling at me. Like, I feel like there is something there. Like, I can, especially in areas dark, it's nighttime and you know it's haunted. Like, you can feel the energy, but you're also like, these motherfuckers are giggling at me. Like, I'm gonna run into a bum and they're gonna watch me fucking get stabbed by a bum. Like, every time I've ever went out looking for something, I feel like I never find it. It's always like those confined areas where I'm all alone. And something weird happens, you know what I mean? Like, what do y'all feel about that? Like, do you think if you go looking for it, you're more liable to find it, or is it more shit happens when you're not looking for it?
I think it all depends on the places you go, because, like, for my birthday one year, I wanted to go ghost hunting just for my birthday, and it was me, my buddy Grant. We went to like several different locations. There, we went to the Poplick Bridge first in Louisville, which they say, like, there's, like, a goat man who stalks it and stuff. But there's actually been people who died, like, on the... It's like a big railroad track on the thing. So we went there, didn't really get anything, and we went to a cemetery. I can't remember... I remember where my dad just took me there. It was just a place he knew. Didn't really get anything, and then we went downtown and there was a little witches cemetery.
I've heard of the witches stump.
Yeah. And so we went and didn't really find anything, but like went to Waverly and like instantly like just felt weird. The picture, like,
I think it definitely has to do with location.
Yep.
And do you think it's like all right, so to say if this place, this whole cubicle we're in is haunted, if we tore it the fuck down and replaced the dirt, would it still be haunted? Because that's always been my
location
thing.
Yes, the location would still be
So
haunted.
you think it's seeped in, it's more of like a time vortex? Because that's always been my
it's like the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, that's always been my kind of thought with the paranormal. It's like, it's not more or less like these entities just coming out of the fucking air and it stays right there. I'm more of the person who thinks like it's like a time glitch, if that makes any sense. It's like time's lapsing in with each other, and it's like maybe on the other fucking end of it, those fucking people that are seeing you, that you're seeing are seeing you, and they're like, what the fuck is that? Like,
well, I got another question. Are they just wandering around like all day? You know what I mean? Like, if there was one in here, is he just here all day, and like, what's he doing? You know
I feel like
sitting here and like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I feel like there's some that don't know that you exist. Like, they believe that they're still alive, and they're still wandering, doing the same thing that they did when they were alive. Right. But they can't see you.
I had a weird experience at my house probably 4 or 5 months ago. Taylor took my son Grayson, and they were going to go to Michigan to see like, family and shit. And it was just like an out of the blue fucking like 3 o'clock in the morning, she's fucking hammered. Her sister wants to go. They're going to drive to fucking Michigan. Let's go. So she leaves Sissy with me, which is my daughter. And me and Sissy hang out at the house. I play video games. We just chill. But we got to go to a birthday party at like in like Richmond or Berea or somewhere. I don't really remember. But fucking, I get back and the whole like I don't fuck with shit. Like if there's a fucking ghost, I ain't fucking with it. I might, if I see it or it says something to me, I might tell it to go fuck itself. But I don't go out of my way to try to fucking like come here.
I'm not scared of you. You're not.
Yeah, like bro,
we coexist.
Yeah, we coexist. You know what I mean? So, but like still, like I'm there by myself. Like Castlewood's a shifty area, but my neighborhood really ain't that bad. So, like, at nighttime, I'll push something up against the door, lock all the doors, just make sure everything's all right. And we come home from the birthday party, and everything's cool. The whole time, everything's good. And Taylor comes home from Michigan, and she gets into the closet, and she's like, what bitch have you had in my fucking house? And I'm like, bro, we got cameras in the house. You can go back on the cameras and look to see that nobody's been in this fucking house besides me and Sissy for the past 3 days. All we've done is play video games and fucking watch videos and just do us. And she's like, come here. And I go into the closet, and right there on the closet it says, I heart you. Written in pink crayon. And I'm like, I can put it on fucking whatever you want me to put it on. Ain't nobody, and I'm dead. I ain't trying to cover my tracks or nothing.
Holy shit.
Like, I ain't trying to do nothing. Like, somebody either came in my house, which makes no fucking sense to me because all the doors and shit have been locked for the whole fucking time.
P5 would have been gone.
Yeah,
too.
literally the P5, the Xbox, TVs.
Every time I leave the door unlocked in my house and I go home, like, if the P5 there, I didn't get robbed.
Facts. So it's written in pink crayon, I heart you, and right beside like where I keep my video games at is just a small little pink crayon, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I had gotten into that closet because that's where I keep my Jordans and shit.
Yeah.
So I had gotten a pair of shoes down because I wanted to look nice for the birthday party and shit. And I didn't see fucking dick. And I know I would have looked at it because I had been in that closet just fucking with shit, just looking at clothes.
You dealt with a ghost that was letting you know.
But my fucking house has been owned by like my family since like the 60s or the 50s. So like, I don't know if it was like a family ghost or if somebody fucking broke in, but like that was one of the weird.
Or maybe it was a ghost that has been there for a long time that y'all wouldn't know about.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, I love you, Leon.
I love you, yeah. And then also Taylor got a spirit box. She's
good choice.
For Christmas she got herself a spirit box, and fucking Kenny's been over there when we've used it, and the whole fucking time we use it, all we hear is Leon.
Holy shit.
And I'm drunk as fuck when we do it, so I'm like, they ain't fucking saying my name, but he could probably vouch. Were they saying my name?
First time we did it, I was trying to get them to communicate about Thanksgiving because we did it on Thanksgiving night, and like one of them said something like "fuck Thanksgiving," and I said, "Hey, don't you be using that language with me now." And then you heard it like growl. He was like,
"Yeah, I definitely have heard some growls."
I was like, I said, "Don't you be growling at me now. We ain't playing that now, buddy." And then it just switched over, and a different voice came on and said, "Leon, Leon, Leon, Leon." It just kept doing it in different tones and shit.
Oh, yeah, Emily's got a question for all of us. So, if you guys believe in ghosts, do you all also believe in haunted items?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Damn straight.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You want to hear a haunted item story?
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
my grandpa, he was cleaning out an old burnt down house, and in the ashes of this burnt down house he's cleaning out the area for, he finds the remnants of a tarot deck. This tarot deck is in a leather bound box. The box itself is melted by the fire that burnt the house down. The fact that this box didn't completely melt with the house and everything else in that room is burnt to a crisp, that is insane, first of all, for that little tiny leather box to even survive. But it was just melted all around it. It looked like it was a liquid box almost, the way it had melted. But he brought this home to me, and I opened the box, and inside the cards were absolutely perfect condition for surviving a house fire.
Like you just pulled the house out of the divorced dad's pack?
Yeah. It was absolutely a perfect deck of cards inside. I'm looking at this charred, crisp, almost liquid-looking box, the way it was melted and warped. I'm like, that's pretty wild. But maybe let's put aside the fact that somehow it survived this house fire.
Yep.
I'm like, cool, whatever. Whoever was using this tarot deck, by the way, don't know how their house caught fire. Could have been any number of reasons. But I decided I was going to learn how to read a tarot deck, and I learned a little bit. I just enough to do just like a little tarot reading, and I was like, Grandpa, let me do a little tarot reading for you. This is like, I shuffled the deck, did the cut, draw the card, and the first thing that I draw off the top was death. The Grim Reaper staring back at me. And a smile left my face, and I just stared at the card, and then I looked back up at him, and he was just waiting for me to say what it was or do the tarot. And I just put it back into the deck. And I was like, yeah, Grandpa, I think I'm done with this deck. And I put it back into the box. Wait, put it back into the box, took the box, threw it in the trash can. That's right. The next morning, it arrived back on my desk. And when I woke up and I seen that box sitting on my desk, I was like, oh, no. You burnt one house down. You ain't attaching me.
You ain't burning my house down.
Know? So I took this piece of garbage. Whatever attached to it was immediately death. When I pulled the first card and showed me Grim Reaper. Now, I know it doesn't always mean death. I know there's different things with tarot. But the fact that I just looked right at the Grim Reaper and that house burnt to the ground, I was like, I'm not about that. So,
and the fact that it was back inside your house.
It popped back inside. I was like, oh, no, you're not doing this with me. I took it outside, threw it in the garbage bin outside, tied up that black bag outside the house in the garbage bin. It was like, I'm done with you. Woke up, back again.
Holy shit.
I'm real weird about tarot.
Leon, you know what I had to do to get rid of that fucking deck?
You had to burn it. I would at least think.
Exorcism?
No, I took and I threw all the cards in the river.
That'd be a cool sight to see.
Water beats fire. It couldn't die by fire, so it's
rock,
like, you'll die one way.
Bitch.
You'll die one way, motherfucker.
Exactly.
One way or another.
I'm real weird about tarot and shit like that. My whole family, like for as long as I could remember, my mama was a witch, my mom's a witch. We've all had I've conjured shit up, like not bad shit like demons or anything, but I've made shit happen in my life by just thinking on it and praying on it and shit, which I mean could be either prayers, you can interpret it any way you want, but I know I conjured it up.
Yeah.
But so I'm real weird with tarot. I'm going to New Orleans at the end of this week. And
Nice.
I'm like Taylor when she's like, we gotta go to the voodoo shops, and I'm like, motherfucker, I've dealt with this shit my entire life. I am not stepping foot.
Damn straight.
I'm not stepping foot into no fucking voodoo shop.
So Leon, if a tarot deck kept coming back to you, what would you do with it? Would you keep it?
There's a part of me because I'd probably give it to my mom. Because that's her wheelhouse. Like I was saying, like I don't really fuck with that shit. The only person I will let read my cards is my mom.
See,
But
no,
what if-
Leon, that's the wrong step. That's the wrong move. Because I don't know if you know anything about tarot, but when you get, and that was a custom deck.
Yeah,
that was a
yeah,
custom
yeah.
deck. That was someone's personal deck.
That also has something to do with it. Also,
I didn't know until later. I found out that I was never supposed to have read those cards. I should not have done a tarot with it because it was someone else's custom deck. I fucked up bad by doing that.
Yep.
So what was you gonna say, Johnny?
So I think that's why it tried to attach to me, because I tried to read a fucking tarot with it, and that's so I was like, nah, I got to destroy this thing.
I was going to say, what would you have done, though, if you gave it to her and it winds up back on you?
I think my mom's too powerful for that. I'm not even gonna lie. She's literally a
Now,
witch.
here's something for you. Emily said, never throw away a tarot card. Bury them.
Bury them.
Yeah. That was her advice, Emily. She said, never throw away tarot cards. Always bury them. But the water thing did work.
Well, I was just thinking, like, I buried in the trash can and it came back. So what's dirt gonna do? I was like,
Yeah, that's true.
I want you to tell you.
I want to destroy. I want the cards to not be recognizable.
I want you to tell your PlayStation 2 story.
Oh, the
Yes, tell
PlayStation
it.
2. So I had an old PlayStation 2 that I loved dearly, and I kept this thing in immaculate condition. I always wrapped up my controllers and the cords and put all the discs back into the box, and I didn't want any type of damage on my PlayStation. I was a poor kid coming up, so like when I got my PlayStation, it was great. It was like my pride and joy, my love. So
Same like me.
I was proud of this thing, and I kept it in such good condition, and I turned it off, unplugged it, and made sure all the cords were wrapped up nice. So there was no damage. There was absolutely zero damage to this PlayStation. And Guy down the street, 3 houses down from me, was wanting to buy a PlayStation at the time, and I wanted to upgrade to an Xbox 360 because that's where Xbox Live was really getting hype back then, and the Halo was a big thing. I got to play Halo on my uncle's Xbox.
Nice.
So then I was like, I need an Xbox, and I didn't have enough to get it. And it just so happened that it lined up where the guy down the street was looking for a PlayStation. I had a PlayStation, and I needed some money to get an Xbox. So I was like, this lined up pretty well. This is awesome, right? Dude gives me the money for the PlayStation. He takes it home. Everything goes good. 3 days later, his house burns to the fucking ground. And it killed the 2 dogs that were inside because he wasn't home when it happened. Not only that, the way the fire started was the electrical outlet that the PlayStation 2 was plugged into.
Holy shit.
You got any crazy stories, B-Money? I want to hear something from you.
I've got some weird stuff that happened. I've said it on the podcast, but like there was an instance where it was, I want to say I was a freshman or a sophomore, laying there in my bed at night, just a random night, and I really don't know if it was a dream or real life. Like I don't know. Like, it's weird, but I lift my head up out of my bed, and there's a corner right here, and then right beside my bed, there's like a cutoff, and the door's like right here.
Yeah.
So like there's like corner, and then door back here. It's a smaller room. So I'm looking in one corner, it's completely dark, and I see a figure that's like darker than dark. Like, it was weird. So I look to the other corner, and it shifts to the other corner. So then I'm like, if I look right there, is it gonna go to the door, or is it gonna be right beside me? So as I slowly turn my head, like, I don't remember anything after that. So I don't know if it was a dream or I was awake. I really don't know.
What about the sound that you heard coming from your brothers?
So the way our rooms are upstairs is there's my room, my brother's room, and then across the hall there was our game room, and that's just where we played games and shit. And so this was like when Fortnite was big, and my brother was like playing it, like he was sweating on it. And dude, that's
the biggest horror story of the whole night. It's Fortnite sweat.
It's like, bro, it's like 12 o'clock, and I hear thumbsticks on a controller moving. So I'm like, I don't think nothing of it. I'm just like, he's in there playing. It's fucking late though. So, and next night I hear it again. So I get up, I'm fucking pissed. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? So I get up, walk across the hall, room's empty, completely black. He's in his room asleep.
Oh, damn. You got a ghost wanting to play a
little
game.
gamer ghost.
A ghost want to play a game, bro.
Dude, when I went into the room, the controller was sitting on the PlayStation, like nothing, like no noise. It was weird as fuck, man.
Ghost might have been pissed off about Fortnite. Just stopped.
He couldn't get the Zoe
And it's like even if my brother like was playing, he didn't have enough time to turn off the game and run and hop in his bed and pretend he was going to sleep, because I got up instantly when I heard it.
I got a weird one, like what you was just saying earlier about like the shadow people. It's not really a shadow person, but at the time,
but they do exist though.
I've when I was a real little kid, I would see shadow people, but
I had to tell one of them I would kill him, and then he just decided not to show up anymore because I was like, I'm going to make a peanut butter and jelly, and if you're still here when I get back, I will murder you.
Make sure that's not the Hat Man one, though.
There was okay, so me and my brother both seen the same thing one time, too. I was about to start talking about it, but I forgot about it. And right when we moved into this house, it was like the summer of my 6th grade year, like the end of my 6th grade year, so going into 7th grade, and it was like the end of school transitioning to like summer. And like I just get up one night and I look out my window and there's a dude standing by our mailbox, and he's looking at our house. He's got like just a hat on and a long brown coat, but you can't see his face. Like, you can't see his face, but he's looking directly at our house. Weird. And then I tell my brother about it, and he's like, I seen the same exact thing.
That's fucking
Ghost
strange.
of a mafia gangster.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, it was weird.
I got a really fucking weird one. It was we went to the Royal Rumble in St. Louis whenever they did
Hell
that.
yeah, dude, that was the last Rumble I went to.
Yeah, we went to that one, and we were just like, it was our last day in St. Louis, so we was like, fuck it, let's go explore some shit. So we went to I think it was called the City Museum, and it's literally like, this fucking museum is like if fucking Alice in Wonderland did fucking ketamine for 5 days straight and fucking stayed up all 5 days and then took a fucking hit of fucking crocodile after. Like,
Hell yeah.
Like, this place was fucking strange. Like, it was the weird, like a fucking person on acid or mushrooms dream place to be. Like, it was like, all the exhibits were real weird. They had a fucking slide that was like all the way up at the top of the fucking thing, and it was built in this old
Make a call.
it was built in this old shoe factory.
Yeah.
And we're just walking around, and like, I got weird vibes from this place anyways, just because of like how fucking like obscure and weird it was. Just like, it was so out of the ordinary. It was one of the weirdest places you could ever fucking be.
Yeah.
And me and my dad are just walking upstairs, and we see like, if the door's right here, we're about to walk through it, and I'm looking at him, I'm talking like this, and out of the corner of my eye, I see like, it looks like an old like saloon bar. It's just sat up against this wall, and I'm like, fuck yeah, like, I'm about to get me a drink. I got my ID on me. I want a beer. I want a whiskey sour.
Damn
like, what
straight.
the fuck are we gonna do? And
We in a slum.
we walk through there, and like, when I'm walking through there, I see these two people, and everybody else there is dressed like how everybody in this room would be, just normal garb. But this man and this woman are wearing like fucking
Wild West attire.
Nah, not even Wild West attire. More like early 20th century garb. Like,
Damn.
like wearing like top hats and a nice suit, and the ladies in a
And the
dress.
pretty dresses.
Yeah, pretty dress. And they're sipping from martini glasses. And I'm like, how the fuck did they get martini glasses? Like, there's not I just looked, they're in a bar right there. And me and my dad are talking, and I look at them, and they're talking, but you can't see their mouth move. I can't hear them talking, but like, you know, when somebody's talking, movements of the hands, movements of the mouth.
Yep.
You can just know that somebody's talking. And I look at my dad, and I'm like, that's crazy. They must have like paid actors here to like act like a different era
That's
of
right.
time.
See-through paid actors.
Yeah, and I look behind me, and they just waltz off to a different exhibit. And I'm about 30 minutes later, I look at my dad, and I'm like, did you see those people ever again? He was like, nah. I'm like, neither did I. And like, it's a big place, but it's not a big enough place to where you can't run into the same person twice. Like, I ran into multiple people twice. You know what I mean? Like, if Kenny was there, I ran into Kenny at least 3 times. Johnny's there. I seen him on the top floor. I seen him on the bottom floor. If Sean's there, he was at the little. Oh, that's my boy over there.
Got some of that funky monkey.
But but if Sean's there, he's getting a drink, and then I seen him at the bathrooms. You know what I mean? And so I go up to the worker. I'm like, is this place haunted? And they're like, yeah. I was like, let me hear your experience. Blah blah blah. So I tell them exactly what happened. The fact that I seen those people in period garb, and they had like martini glasses. I never seen them again.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's weird, because every time we get a ghost story, it's always of a kid. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, where the fuck am I? Like, how the fuck did I wander into fucking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but it's fucking Michael Myers is in there? Like this place was fucking the strangest place
Or
I'd
the
ever
Twilight
been.
Zone.
It literally felt like an episode of the Twilight Zone. Like, I seen these people in period garb. They were talking to each other, but I never seen their mouths move. And then I never seen them again the whole entire time I was there. And then when I tell the people, they're like, yeah, usually we hear kid ghost stories. I've never heard of that before. So that was also one of the weirdest.
You got to see some period ghosts.
Yeah,
right there.
yeah. And like, that was just one of the weirdest. Like I said, like, we wandered into that area, and I was like, I'm going to get a drink. And then there's these two people in clothing that I don't like. You can't even find that fucking clothing at the Goodwill.
Exactly.
Like, you got to go fucking somewhere like that's an actual antique shop and find that clothing. And they had martini glasses, and you could buy a beer, but it was like a bottle of beer, or like there wasn't no place to get actual like a bar to get actual liquor. So I was just like, how the fuck? Like that shit fucked me up for a long time.
You
That
and
was-
Andy experience something.
He
that
does. I don't
no
think.
one else did.
I don't think he. Like I've asked him about it. He's like, I don't know what happened. I think he's kind of a skeptic.
I think
he's
Andy
too-
is a skeptic.
I think he grew up too poor to believe in ghosts. I've told him this a couple times because he grew up as like a real poor kid, didn't have shit over.
I grew up poor and I believe in ghosts.
Yeah, but I think he was more worried about like
He's worried
not
about
eating
other
paper for dinner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
He had more shit than ghosts.
Like,
But listen-
like, is this ghost gonna steal my fucking bowl of wheat right now? Like,
But listen, when you
Is he
see an
gonna eat the last
apparition,
bean?
He was bumming the ghost for some cigs and shit.
no,
He's
he
like,
was
"Yo,
telling
you
the
cigs,
ghost,
man?"
okay, you're there, but fuck you, I'm trying to eat. Go away.
I have my generic box of cereal that just says cereal on it. You don't know if it's squares or fucking loops or whatever. Please do not steal my cereal.
I like that colossal berry crunch.
It's
That's
like-
my favorite.
It's like
The
shredded
ghost- the
wheat
ghost
with
be
no
like, "Hey, man,
frosting."
let's have a
Colossal
game."
berry
It's just
crunch.
a bowl. Like, dude, I'm trying to eat my bowl of porridge right
No,
now. Like,
Leo.
you're not gonna haunt me out of my bowl of porridge.
Yeah, when
It's
Andy
my
saw them,
Dino Pebbles.
here's why I think Andy did. Andy saw the two-period ghost. He like, I don't give a fuck who they are. I'm just trying to get me a drink.
I know what his cereal was. It was shredded wheat without the frosting and no squares. So it was just barley in a
The
fucking
big-
box.
It was like this big of a block of fucking cereal.
Yes.
Chewing on it.
He's like, fuck you. I know you're there, but this is my food. I'm going to eat this.
I've never heard of somebody that's starving be like, yeah, dude, there's a ghost right there. Like, I've never heard that ever come out of somebody's mouth.
The ghost will be there, but
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
getting under that.
Like, dude, I'm eating my pork and beans right now. You're not about to steal my fucking pork and
Exactly.
beans. Dirty
I mean,
apparition bitch.
I can
You know-
definitely see that. Earlier, I was pissed
why
off,
are
needed a
all the
peanut butter and
ghosts
jelly, so I was like, I'll fight you for it,
We're
ghost
in the
man.
1800s or late 1800s. Why don't we eat any ghosts from like 2007?
Oh, dude, I would love to see like a
Brand new fucking
I would love to
ghost.
see a 2011 hipster ghost with like the fucking the twirled up mustache with the fucking plaid on,
With the fucking
yeah, with the
beanie
beanie,
on.
hanging
And a
off.
necklace.
Every time
You're
you're
gonna
like-
see that
you're
is like original 1800s Wild
They just
West.
start ripping fucking
Yes.
vines and
Yeah,
shit.
bro, ripping vines, but they got a fidget spinner, bro. They're fucking. They're like.
Don't hate on the pictures.
They're like. Fuck! I got a good thing. No, you're like. There's a ghost in my house, and all you smell is beard oil.
Hey, that guy look good
you
if they're going to haunt you.
Like, why is somebody smoking? Nobody smokes cloves in this house. Why is somebody smoking a fucking clove in this house?
Well, the ghost decided they was going to smoke some cloves. You know what got me to believe in things of supernatural?
Let me hear it.
I mean, think about it. The Mothman.
The
A
Mothman.
cryptid. There's actually
I
a
do-
photographic proof of this thing
Yeah, that's gonna be.
before the bridge collapses.
Your granny's on this house. I swear to God, it was haunted.
Yes, it
You
was.
can't convince me otherwise.
The upstairs.
Nobody went to the upstairs. I think you and I may have went up there twice in the whole
Yep.
time I've known you. It was, I don't know, it was creepy.
It was. I feel like anytime I went up there, I felt like someone
Yeah,
was
you didn't
watching
stay up
me.
there long.
Exactly. Hey, you would feel like someone's going up the stairs and nobody's there but you and Grandma Zona. Like,
Exactly.
the only time that I went up there, I felt like
I only
someone
think I
was
was
actually
there.
watching me. And anyone else that lived up there, up those
Anybody
steps, they also felt like someone was up there watching them.
Yeah.
It was a fucked up place because I feel like Grandma Zona's house, the way it's built,
The whole house.
it felt like whoever lived there before Grandma Zona ever did,
Yep.
they're still there.
Oh, I'm feeling it.
That's also one thing I want to like. I think we're gonna try to do this podcast like maybe once or twice every month. But like for the next episode, I want to get into more like the local history of hauntings around
Yes.
Lexington. I think that would be a cool topic. And then maybe the episode after that, we do like cryptids of Kentucky. Yeah, so like
Hell
I'm
yeah.
gonna get more into like the history of everything. And then maybe like I do want to bring some guests in. I would love to.
yeah.
What was he gonna say?
I would like to bring Donnie and Jess back on.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yes, for sure.
The last time Donnie was on, he bought Jess the bars, and he said that like we can do them here and everything. Like,
Hell yeah.
what
And
is
also-
it? The iron rods shit.
that you hold like this, and they're supposed to like go out. It's like a ghost.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it works.
But yeah, I definitely want to get. I want to get some indie wrestlers in here because there's no way that all that time on the road that you haven't encountered some weird ass fucking shit.
Exactly.
Like
there's got to be someone out there with stories.
Oh yeah, Scott Diamond's ghost story was really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, get some that can come
Dowsing rod. Shout out Jane. Dowsing rod.
That's right, Jane.
I'm gonna douse you with my rod,
you know what about the tarot cards? You shouldn't have touched them because, as Emily Rose said earlier, it's someone else's custom deck. When you touch them, they're now connected to you. Their energy.
I don't even Taylor has some, and Sissy
don't
gets
touch them.
Fucking, I touch them because I don't want them on the floor. I feel like that's more disrespectful.
Yeah, but you don't want to touch them.
She's my girlfriend. She lives with me. We got kids together. But she's asked, when she first got her deck, she was like, "Let me read your tarot cards." I was like, "Fuck no." I was like, the only person that's ever done that has been my mom, and that's the only person that will ever do that is my mom.
Well, me and B Money had Jess read ours.
Yeah.
When she was here,
She
had a tarot. She had the tarot deck herself. She had me and him shuffle the deck for our readings.
We had Art the Clown on.
That was a hell of an episode. I loved that episode.
Yeah, that fucking clown. I don't know where he went to after that.
Yeah,
I'm still.
I thought you would have been dead in the bathroom, Johnny.
I thought that I would have been too. After I saw it, I went in my back and I watched the episode. I was like, when the fuck did that clown get inside the studio?
So, because I destroyed the tarot deck, does that mean I need to go see a priest? You go
Have you
get
been experiencing anything after you did that?
No, because I haven't even thought about it until somebody asked me the story.
You may have been able to bypass by putting inside water because you're right, water beats fire. And since that deck has caused a fire before, it being inside the water ended up transferring the energy from the cards into the water. You may be safe.
I want to hear a little bit more about your experiences with black magic.
Yes.
The black
because,
magic.
dude, the second story was great. Dude, the first story, man, it fucking, I just imagine, because I'm a very, when somebody's telling a story, I'm picturing it in my head, and man, it was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I think my very first experience with black magic,
I just freaked myself out. I thought this fucking door was opening by itself for a second, bro. My body's playing.
Damn it, Art the Clown, stop that. We already exercised the studio once.
I think my first experience witnessing black magic, I was, I'll say, maybe 8 or 9.
An old youngster, man.
And I had went over to a friend of the family's house with my grandma and grandpa, and they are family somehow. I don't remember how they're related to us, to be honest, but I just remember going over there real young, and they had a basement with a pool table downstairs, and I remember that the pool table was down there, and all the grown-ups were talking, and there was nobody for me as a kid to talk to. So I was like, yeah, this is boring. I'm gonna go play pool. So it's like, surely, because I didn't care to be by myself. I was a pretty quiet kid anyway, so I was like, fuck it, I'll go play pool by myself. I go downstairs, come around the corner, and suddenly there's 4 people circled around the pool table, and I'm like, I've never seen you 4 people before. Who the hell are you?
Oh, shit.
I didn't say anything, though, because I'm just a little kid. I'm just thinking this in my head, like, who the fuck are you people? And they were 4 darkly attired, three guys and a girl, and they were all in these dark attires, almost like robes. And the guy that seemed to be the leader of these 4 people had a hood on. He had a hood up, like a robe hood, and I thought it was a little bit odd that these 4 people weren't playing pool, but they were on each perfect side, squarely around the pool table, and they all turned and looked at me at the same time, and we didn't exchange a fucking word. Not a word did we exchange. Little 8-year-old me and a bunch of, I don't know, anywhere from 18 to 20-year-old people chilling around this table never seen before. No idea. Don't think they're family. But they look at me. I look at them. We say nothing. I go and sit down on the couch because I'm now intrigued at this point. They didn't tell me I had to leave, so I'm like, fuck it. I'll go sit.
We're trying to sacrifice a raccoon, and here comes somebody's bitch ass kid coming to fucking play in the pool. You should have shot a couple cues while they were doing this.
Their first thoughts would have been, this motherfucker's interrupting our sacrificial lamb. We're gonna stare at him. Maybe he'll leave. Nope. He instead goes, nope, I'm going to just
I got my
sit right
Game Boy right here. I think I'm going to watch.
Yeah. And I just sat down on the couch, and I did. That's exactly what I did. I just sat down back on the couch, and I stared at each 4 of them like this. I didn't have a beard at the time.
You were stroking your beard that you were going to get.
His imaginary beard like, huh, what are y'all going to do now that I'm watching y'all?
So I was like, dude, what are y'all doing? That's when I began to witness them. They went back to being in this squared circle around the pool table and chanting very lowly. This is when I could start to hear them chanting something. I believe it was Latin, what they were chanting, Leon, because it was not any type of English, nothing I could understand.
Maybe ancient Greek, perhaps?
Ancient Greek, Arabic maybe, could have been Arabic.
It's more than likely Latin, though.
Yeah, I was just...
just from the memory of what it sounded like in those hushed tones, I think it was Latin. But they were all doing this chant together, and the main guy, he points at the girl, tells her to come over. So she does, and he whispers something to her, and they talk back and forth for a second, and then they both go to the bathroom. And I'm like, as a kid, I'm like, oh, great. I wonder what they're going to do in the bathroom. But they were only in there. They were only in there for like 15 seconds, right? And the dude comes out, and he was wearing a backpack, but now it's clear that as he's walking out, he was either taking something out or putting something into this backpack. And then he just slides it back onto his back, and they all return to the position. The girl and the guy come out. They go back to their spots on the table. The chanting resumes. That's when all 4 of them put their hands on the triangle piece that centers the balls. And as they're all chanting, they all have their hands like this, 3 fingers each, on a corner or a piece of the board, as they all hold it together, as if we were all had our hands up.
Yeah.
And they chant as they close the balls together. And they're all just holding their fingers on it and chanting in this low tone.
1 second. Do you think that they were part of a pool team and they were trying to do some dark magic to win their
Dark
next
magic
tournament?
pool
That's
victory.
right.
Yes,
Help us
sir.
win with this almighty
We need to
board.
look into the 2010 World Championship
Yes.
of pool. I think
Yes, we do.
Does anybody have records on this? Can anyone confirm?
Somebody was sacrificed that day and they had to forfeit, so that's why.
And they let you watch because they know that you're just a kid and that no one's going to believe you.
Their training, they would have.
Yeah, they would have won it all if Kenny wasn't there.
If it wasn't for you meddling kids.
But continue. What else happened?
Sorry, buddy.
So
I had to get that in there. I had to get that in.
That's hilarious.
Or it was the Undertaker because remember,
always
Undertaker was
the
the Ministry
Undertaker.
of Darkness.
The
Latin
Ministry
speaking.
of Darkness.
But it was really Vince McMahon.
Yeah. It was me, Austin. It was me all along.
Dude, Christopher Daniels, but he was too damn short to fill the role. Which I'm not gonna lie.
Can you confirm, Kenny? Were one of them short?
Shut up, Johnny.
They were of average size. I believe one of them was a shorty.
Oh, Christopher Daniels.
Christopher was there. Can confirm. No. So we're going back. They all had their fingers in this weird, like, triple fingered pattern where they're all holding it, but with only 3 fingers, and they're lifting this thing. They close all of the balls together, and they continue this chant for at least 2 more cycles of what sounds like the same thing. And then they begin to slowly lift this triangle up towards the air, continuing the chant. And they're all just holding the triangle above the table, chanting. and I witness every one of these pool balls simultaneously slowly spread and go to their own pockets and all drop in each fucking pocket one after another, slowly by themselves, just bloop 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 bloop, and then they just bring the pool thing back down, place it back on the table, finish 2 more cycles of the same chant, and then they lift their fingers. They walk away from the pool table, walk out the back door into the backyard, and disappear from my life forever. Who are you people? Like, what were you doing in my family's house? Black magic ritual pool for the 2012 World Championship.
That's how they won.
Like, dude, who are these people?
Should I tell them the story that we have together at work?
Oh,
Do it.
tell us.
All right, so at UPS, we get 1 fucking break a day. Never 2.
Is it a 30 or?
It's a fucking 10. It's a 1 10-minute, 1
Oh,
10-minute break.
Actually, don't
What?
lie. It's an 8-minute break because they will shave that 1 minute.
Yeah. Get your fucking ass back in
And then-
there.
You only have a 10-minute break. How long are your shifts?
Like 5 hours.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it's like
okay.
a part-time
That
thing.
makes
We work
sense.
5 days a week, 5 hours usually. But so we get 1 fucking break a day, and the break hits like normal. I work at the back end of the building. Kenny's on the lane right next to me.
Yeah.
So this day, Kenny doesn't come out to break, and I go out there. And for some reason, it's weird because there was only like a couple people out there, which usually break is fat as fuck. Like it's fucking 100, not 100 people. Like at max, it can be like 20. Yeah, it feels like 100 people. It's a small area, probably the size of this fucking room is the outside break area. And I remember I'd been trying to quit smoking cigarettes, and so like I just sit there and talk with whoever's at the break table, and before I leave to go back into work, I look at the person. I'm like, "Hey, I'm happy with myself. I didn't ask you for a cigarette today." So that's
Nice.
Yeah. So we go back in, and I just go and I sit in my chair. It's like 8:00. It's the end of the day, and 30 minutes goes by. Everything in the building shuts back down. You hear the supervisor break, and I'm like, "What the fuck do they mean? We just had break." And like I said, we never take unless the whole fucking building shuts down.
Yeah.
That's the only, and they'll still.
They're shaving those 2 minutes of our 10-minute break to make you only be on break for 8 minutes. There's not a singularity in the universe. A black hole wouldn't stop UPS from running, dude.
literally.
Like, you could have half the building get wiped out by a tornado. You'd be lucky if we weren't working by the next end of next shift.
The electric wouldn't be on, but we'd be fucking peeling labels and putting bags in the bag cart type.
So they yelled break after you just had a break.
Yeah, they yelled break after we just had a break, and I go out to break, and this time Kenny comes out to break, and he's like, "Fuck, man, like I don't have my fucking lunch. Like usually I eat lunch on fucking break." He's like, "I just ate fucking lunch," and I look at everybody at the break table. I'm like, we just fucking had break, and everybody's like, "What the fuck are you talking about, Leon? Like you're fucking crazy." And I'm like, "Give me a fucking cigarette," and I look at the person I bumped I was like, "Dude, we literally just talked about how I'm doing good because I didn't ask you for a cigarette."
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Leon, you're fucking tweaking," and that's when I look over at Kenny, and he's like, "Nah, we definitely had break."
No, look at me. Ashley's saying whatever. She's like, "Oh no, you're tripping, Leon. This is the first time I've had break today." And then they say whatever, they add whatever. There's like 3 or 4 different people sitting at the same table as us. And I just look at all of them and I shake my head and I look over at Leon and I'm like, I already ate lunch today.
We had break. We definitely had.
I feel like in a split moment of time, y'all were inside alternate universe, and then y'all came back.
What's crazy about that is at the beginning,
Leon, I remember the first break we had because I didn't go out to the lunch table. I sat exactly where I was, ate my fucking lunch that I didn't have at the second break. I ate my lunch at the first break, drunk my water, and just sat there and enjoyed my little 8-minute break. And the second time, when it hit not even what felt like maybe 30 minutes later, that's why I went
remember
out.
how I said earlier, it was like 8:00 when break ended. When I looked back in my clock, it was 7:30 again.
Yeah.
I think that you were experiencing.
But what was you saying again?
Yeah. It was like a 30-minute reset, like a time loop, because I remember the same thing. I looked at my clock and I was like, there's there's no way it's 7:30. We just took break, right? Like what? I remember it being 8 o'clock. Then we take the second break, and I went out, and I didn't say anything to nobody because I'm already very far in my own head, right? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, nope, I'm just tripping today. There's no way that we've already taken the first break.
And
but I look
me
at
frantically connecting dots on a fucking board, like,
dude, I'm looking at my empty.
Yeah, like the guy on Always Sunny. Yeah, that was literally me.
I'm looking at my empty lunch bag, and I'm thinking, I've already eaten my lunch. Maybe I thought it was break, and everyone else just kept working, and I'm just like brain dead, I guess. But then I'm sitting out there, and Leon's connecting the dots. And everyone else like, no, we haven't taken break. I'm like, no, we very much have taken break. That 30-minute recycle, I could feel it. Like, you ever felt a deja vu event where everything just starts to like tilt? Like,
dude, that guy's gonna walk out here right now. That guy's gonna walk out this door right now, and he's gonna fucking open up his pack of cigarettes. He's gonna light it. Like, I remember I said something to that extent.
And that's not, holy shit, dude. I remember that because you looked at Ashley and you're like, Ashley, I'm not tripping. Kat, you just heard Kat agree with me, right? And Leon said, Kat, he's that dude. He's about to walk out here and light up a cigarette. And I looked at Leon and I was like, I've already eaten my lunch. Let's see what happens. And they don't know. They have no fucking idea what we're talking about. They're like, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah,
they're
blah,
at this point. At this point, they're just mummering along with their own fucking world of life events and all a bunch of fucking politic and all this fucking workplace sucks. Yeah. Fucking douchebag McGee done fucking blew up the bathroom. Like, everybody's just talking about whatever they want to fucking talk about. Me and Kenny are still just like,
they have no idea, right? And that's when dude kicks the door open, slides out to the left, pulls out a smoke, lights it up, and I look over at Leon. I'm like, yep, there's something up today, buddy.
Yeah, I put this on my fucking kids that this happened. Like, this, like, all the other ghost shit, it can be debunked here and there, whatever. But that shit, weirdest experience of my life.
I think that y'all experienced a time loop because y'all know that y'all had a break.
That deja vu feeling coming back in was very strong because I was like, I've already done this work, and now I'm doing literally
the same
the same thing. And then the supervisor, I was like, oh, she's going to come say the same fucking thing to me. And she does. She comes over and she's like, yeah, I'm going to need you to move over here because so-and-so is doing this, blah, 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 and that. And I was like, I just stared at her like she was a ghost. I just fucking stared through her like this.
And what was even weirder is, like, you know how I said that, like, there was a 30 minutes in between the first break to the second. Yeah. I don't remember anything that happened in that 30-minute period between the first and the second. I remember I went over to my chair because I got a fucking rolly chair back there, and I just sat in it, played on my phone. It was like blank. It was like fucking blackout. Like, nothing happened in that 30-minute period, and then we're just back at break.
Yeah.
Weirdest experience of my fucking life. And you were there to be there with me, so that was pretty cool.
I feel like it was a time loop that both y'all experienced.
I think we'd still be stuck in that time loop if he didn't come out there and be like, hey, yeah, this definitely happened. Like,
yeah, no, Leon was like absolutely spiraling, and I'm just so used to like just world-ending events that I just looked at Leon and I was like, yeah, we are in fact in a deja vu event right now. I guarantee you when we go back inside, same thing's going to happen. We were actively walking inside. I said, Leon, when you go back over there, whatever happened is about to happen again. And he was like, I know what you mean. It's like,
now, I remember distinctly, we were talking about it on the way back to our positions, and you were like, you're like, I don't give a fuck about if it happens again. I'm just mad that I have to do the same amount of fucking work.
Yeah. That too. I was on that energy. I was thinking about it. I was like, it's going to happen all again. And I was like, what pisses me off most about it is I have to do this fucking same amount of work again.
He's like we were supposed to be going home right now.
Yeah, I mean, by my logic and time, I would be fucking leaving right now. But we're
Emily Rose said this about y'all's experience. She said that what that sounds like is deja vu. Some people believe that that's where two universes connects. So you and another universe just did that, and you and our universe is now doing it. If that makes sense.
It did feel like that. It felt like
for me and Leon to experience it at the same time.
We were the only people to be like, yeah, like something's off here. The rest of you fucking dimwits.
No one else was experiencing. Like they were just lost in their own little universe.
Yeah,
they were like,
nothing changed with anybody else but me and Kenny that night, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, that
y'all experiencing
that was
you from there.
On the first break though. Did
he
you
was
take it?
he was sitting. I remember distinctly walking out to the break table and seeing him just like sitting on a thing of totes, just like eating his lunch.
Yeah, I mean,
with nobody else on the lane either, because when we go to break, everybody just scatters basically.
Yeah, I remember when the first break hit, I didn't even leave my area because it was like we were getting slammed that day. That's why I was also so pissed off. I was like, I gotta do the same amount of fucking work, getting fucking slammed, and I was like, I'm not even gonna make it. You already know they're cutting those 2 minutes off our fucking 10-minute break, right? So I sat right down on that lane and start eating my lunch. That's why I clearly remember I fucking ate I had very little that day, so I just ate my little PB&J and my little chips or whatever it was. I was like, all right, that's all my lunch. I'm staring at an empty bag, still hungry, staring at an empty bag, and the 8 minutes goes by, get back up, start working, and I'm thinking, all right, 30 minutes to an hour, I'll be going home. Awesome. Cool. That's when the second break is called, and I look at my phone and I'm staring at the clock. I'm like, "There's no fucking way. It should be like going on 8:30, almost 9 o'clock right now." But we're going out to break as if it's like
7:45.
Yeah, 7:45. Like what? What the fuck? So I head out this time to break with an empty bag, but I'm not saying anything. Because I'm just thinking to myself, I'm staring at this empty bag, knowing I just ate my break on lunch and I'm still fucking hungry, and it's making me angry because I'm going back out to lunch like I didn't just eat lunch. So I walk out, sit down next to Leon, and Leon doesn't say anything at first, but I can see he's just like, his wheels are spinning too, dude. I look over at him like, yo, what's up? He's like, nah, dude, it's not happening today, dude. He's like, we've already took break today. As soon as I ask him what's up, he's like, we've already taken break. And I was like, I was sitting there like, yeah, we have. I just keep picking up this empty bag and looking at him and looking at an empty bag.
And everybody's just like, y'all are fucking nuts.
No, do you remember Ashley's response, dude? Like, I felt like I was talking to an NPC. Like the way she responded, she's like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. Blah, 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 Donald Trump, blah, 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 Joe Biden, whatever. I'm like
nah.
I'm actively, like, circling outside of the universe right now, and you are just locked into your own little multiverse of events, you know? Like, she was talking about what was happening, and I was thinking, why am I stuck in this time loop if something major hasn't just happened? The only time I've experienced these time, and I've experienced other different type of time events other than the time loop.
I've only done stuff like that on mushrooms or acid.
No, I've experienced some fucked up shit with time on nothing. But what I've noticed is a couple of these events in which I notice these what I call time fractures, they seem to have lined up with the same time that they're doing these experiments with
hydrogen colliders and stuff.
The CERN.
Yeah.
The CERN Hydrogen Collider, because that's the year that they opened that and started the first test runs with that is when I started experiencing the time fracture events. So I think it has something to do with when they collide these neurons at such high speeds, at almost light speed. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get some type of reaction out of it, but they're affecting the universe in ways they have no understanding of.
Exactly.
But it was definitely a weird experience. And I'm glad that you were there to experience it with me, because to this day I would still be like, I'd be still shaking in my fucking boots. Like,
deja vu.
That was one of the times where I was just like, I have nothing to say about it.
Leon, I will always be your shaman.
Yeah, dude.
Are y'all sure that the black magic pool people wasn't the reason why y'all had that time?
Yeah, it was. They won the tournament that day.
They won the tournament that year, bro.
That's right.
Yeah. That was the big tournament happening.
That's
right. They spent the whole time Just so that they can disperse time.
Yeah, but that was definitely the weirdest experience. Like, I've had ghost experiences, but that cut the fucking cheese. Like, that was one of those times.
Your mom had this say. She says, "Remember when me and your dad found my card in the Walmart parking lot, and I hadn't been there to lose it and found it?"
Yeah, that was weird. She went to Walmart and she got out of her car and was walking to the front, and she seen a card on the ground. She's like, "Fuck it, like I want to see blah 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 what card it was," and it was her card, and they hadn't even been at Walmart yet.
Oh shit!
Haven't even gotten out.
They hadn't even gotten out, done nothing. Her card was just laying on the cement. Wow. Yeah, it's
That
another
is
one
freaky.
of those weird time vortex shit. Like, I think to me, that shit is way scarier than like a ghost.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of debunk a ghost, but when you're just like out of fucking reality for a second and you're just like trying to process, like, am I fucking nuts or did this actually happen?
So there's another. So when that card was found, that means that another Wendy from the other timeline
Left her card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's probably freaking out because she couldn't find her card, but your mom found the card.
But that was, I mean, I've had instances on mushrooms and acid where I'm walking down my road and like I'm literally walking. It feels like 45 minutes, but in reality, it's like 5 minutes where it's just like walk, boop, walk, boop, walk, boop. You're just in the same fucking, just seeing the tree 5 times. And you're just like, God fucking, like, I've done enough acid to know when I'm in a fucking time loop, and I'm just like, oh my God, come the fuck on. Can we get this over with? Like, acid gods, fucking ancient deities, can we please get this over with? What was you going to say, B-Money?
I do that on weed, not like like weed especially does that to me too. It's like I like the time thing you said. I don't like go back in time or anything, but like it feels like everything takes a lot longer than it normally does. You know what I mean?
I had I've been not smoking weed recently because my anxiety and shit's been real bad. But I the other day we were on the video game, me and Kenny and all of our friends, and they was like, "Smoke, Leon, you're a pussy, you're a little bitch, you won't smoke." Blah, blah, blah. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go take a fucking fat ass gravity bong hit for y'all." And when I do, my anxiety just ramps the fuck up. Like I can't control it. It's just how it is. And fucking, we go, I'm getting the kids down for bed, and we got all the lights and shit turned off. And Grayson, my son, he looks at me and he's like, "There's a guy behind the TV. He's invisible and he got red eyes." And I'm just like, what in the fuck are you talking about? And I look at Taylor and I tell her, she's like, don't acknowledge it. You know, just make him think he's weird or something. I was like, I didn't say it. Like, he's the one that fucking just looked at me and said this shit. So that was definitely some weird shit that happened.
You know, he did. You know, kids
And
can see that stuff.
We did run your pockets on that too. We was like, Leon took one hit off the bong and now he's hitting fucking seeing demons behind the TV.
I didn't see demons behind. I was told that there was a demon behind the TV.
Hey, your son saw the demon because kids can see these things.
Well, I think that if there was a demon in my house, Grayson and Sissy would annoy it so fucking bad that it would be like, yeah, I'm not fucking with this house.
I'm peacing out.
Yeah.
The demon's first thoughts would be like, "Fuck this! I was gonna haunt your ass, but you got 2 demons of your own. I'm out of this
Grayson
bitch."
would be like, "Hey, bro, you trying to play Fortnite? you got a Roblox account? Like,
You got Roblox.
They'd be like, "What the fuck is a Roblox? I'm just here to haunt your ass."
Grayson would haunt a demon into submission to where that demon would be going stealing Fortnite cards from fucking Kroger.
That demon would turn into Beetlejuice, be like, "Fuck it, say my name 3 times."
Dude, V-Bucks is like crack to kids, dude.
Bro, V-Bucks,
you got $20. Your nephews, fucking.
Come on, you can spare $20.
I wash your windows. I got these cheeseburgers, man.
I suck your dick.
Yeah,
Man, I just want to play my Roblox. Come on.
$10 V-Bucks.
Come on, $20 for V-Bucks. Yeah, baby.
I need the Ninja Turtles. I need the new Jordans just came out on Fortnite.
The
Bro,
Jordans,
what do you need Jordans on Fortnite?
I bought, bro. I'm a sucker. I bought Jordans on
I did
Fortnite.
too. I did.
That's crazy.
Those
But I'm a grown up and I have grown up money.
yeah, facts. And I actually got the pair in real life.
Nah.
I got the pair in real.
Earned by V-Bucks.
The way that I am on Fortnite with Jordans, if I got the pair pair in real life, I'll buy them on Fortnite.
Nice. I mean, you got to.
So does
Make
anybody
your character look good.
Anybody got a last story that we want to end on? I think we've been in here for
I
like an
think-
hour 40.
I think we need to give it to this man.
Yeah, Kenny's got all the stuff.
Yes.
Give us your cream of the crop, brother.
All right.
Your little sex kitten story. Let's hear it.
I like that. Daddy wants what daddy gets.
That's right. Big Bubba loves it.
All right. I got one for you.
Let's hear it. Oh, I'm here for it, baby.
There he is.
I did to get a water.
All right, so there was a night that me, a cousin, and a friend of mine went down to a property of his down in Wilmore. He doesn't own them.
Wilmore, Kentucky.
Yeah. So it was passed down to him by Benny when he passed away through his will. And he owned this nice little crop of land in the backwoods of Kentucky, in Wilmore. So one night, we head down there to start a bonfire and burn some of the extra wood that they had cut because he was cleaning up the property and preparing it. So I was like, all right, well, head down there, burn some bonfire because I've always enjoyed fire. I'm a bit of a pyromaniac, so got to the point where I can just sit there and stare at the fire, just let the warmth envelop me. And I'll kind of stare into the fire, but also 1,000 yards past the fire, like 1,000-yard stare. So we're all sitting around the fire, probably 11:30 p.m., and this bonfire is big. It's almost getting close to where the leaves are on the tree. We're not trying to burn down the tree, but it's like 14, 15 foot tall. This fire is fucking going. Hot, big fire. We're all sitting around, and we're all three of us a bit of pyromaniacs, so we're not talking. We're just staring into the fire, just watching it envelop the tree.
That's the best thing to do. Just stare at that fire.
And we're just enjoying the crackling and the warmth of the fire and the nightlife in the backwoods of Wilmore. It's a nice time. And of course, because we're old country rednecks, we did bring a couple weapons with us. So my cousin, he's got a 9mm handgun on his side and a holster, and he let me bring the 12-gauge shotgun. My friend is carrying a hunting knife. So all three of us have a nice little weapon on us in case, anything is to go down in the backwoods. So you can never be too prepared in the backwoods.
There might be some martini drinking period piece clothing.
Or the
people,
black magic.
Or the
people.
pool players coming back for their
Or,
revenge for losing the fucking 2010 championship.
He stuck his hand over the thing when they were putting 9 balls.
Or Bigfoot.
Or just some
Yeah,
old
Bigfoot
lot
could have been
lizard
there.
tweakers.
Some
Old
lot lizard
tweakers.
tweakers.
Or the Jersey Devil could have made its way to Kentucky.
Now, this was a summer night, by the way, so it was rather nice and warm, and everything was nice and green, and he had just cut down a bunch of leaves, so the fire was burning nice, and I needed to take a nice little restroom break. There's no restroom around, so it's like, I'm going to walk over to this fence line behind me. All I said, I got up, I was like, I'm going to go take a piss real quick. So I walked back to this fence line about 25 feet away from where the bonfire is. And as I'm taking the piss, a rock hits me in the foot. Pretty good. Like someone had to have thrown this rock.
Yeah.
A pretty good size fucking pebble just right at my foot. Bounces off. And I'm like, the fuck? So I finish up. I turn around. And I stare at my cousin. I'm like, did you just throw a fucking rock at me? And he laughed and goes, no. And I look at my friend and I'm like, no, am I serious? Did either one of you two just throw a rock at me? And my friend very seriously goes, no, neither one of us threw anything at you. And I was like, okay. Turn back around to face where I assume the rock now has to have come from. And what I'm met with is something very, very tall and big and white. The only thing I could describe this is like a white Yeti. Dude, it was just white fur and standing well much taller than me, like Andre the Giant in white fur, dude. I'm like,
Yeti Bigfoot.
bro, yeah, like Yeti Bigfoot, but we're not in the winter mountains, bro. We're not in Russia. We're not in
in the
fucking Russia.
Himalayas.
We're in summertime backwoods Kentucky.
Exactly.
So what's Mr. White Yeti doing? And he is...
Hold on. I think there's Bigfoot's been hitting the slopes.
He's been hitting the slopes.
He's been skiing down them.
Or him and Scarface have gotten into a little encounter and they've puffed on the
Exactly.
nose
Nah, he got
nacho.
the cocaine bear rolled up on him, bro.
The cocaine bear rolled up on you.
Yeah. Dude, I'm sitting here looking up at the bear thing, I'm thinking it's a bear, and I'm trying to see its face, and I can't really see nothing but just this white fur. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going to zip up and turn back around now. By the way, this thing was no further than this doorway and the fence right in the middle of us.
Oh, damn.
So it was close enough. It doesn't matter how hard or how fast I would run. There would be nowhere to get to.
Definitely.
Wouldn't matter. So I just look up at this thing that had just watched me take a piss on its feet.
He just wanted a little suckle.
Bro,
Oh, my God.
I just took a piss on this thing. Like, imagine you're this, like, creature out in the woods. The only thing that animals understand, one of the few things, is piss marking. Piss markings, this is my territory.
Yep.
I literally, a tiny little motherfucking creature, just pissed on the foot of this big-ass giant and was like, this is my territory. That's like a chihuahua pissing on a fucking pit bull's feet.
Shit.
The pit bull's just staring at it like...
It wasn't taken too kindly to that.
So I just look up at this thing. I'm like, I'm going to act as if I don't know you. Didn't see you. I just turn back around, walk back over to the campfire, sit down, grab the shotgun, put it in my lap, and I just sat back. Now all three of us, still very quiet. But when they both looked at me and answered my question, you realize that they would have to have been able to see that thing standing behind me, right?
Yeah.
They didn't react much the same reason that I didn't react. Because I didn't want to believe that I was seeing that.
Yeah.
I picked up a shotgun, but I was like, this is just going to piss it off more than anything, probably. Might rack 3 chambers into it and get a little running distance, but I'm thinking this thing has not attacked me, and I just pissed on it, so I think we're even. I don't
And
know.
all it did was throw a rock at your feet.
Yeah, no, it threw because I was pissing on it. It
Yep.
threw a rock at me. I think that's fucking hilarious, by the way. A little chihuahua pisses on a pit bull, and the pit bull, like, kicks a fucking rock at it. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. I'm like, okay. I'll just go sit over here next to the nice warm fire. I think he wanted to come join us at the fire, honestly. I think that's why he was just staring at the fire.
He's probably waiting.
What's
He's
up,
probably
guys?
like,
I'm Dylan.
I'm Dylan.
These are my backwoods.
hey, motherfucker, you gonna
No.
invite me to stare at this fire? What?
Now, you would think that this is the main point of the story.
I got a couple loose cats I want to throw in the fire. Is that good with you?
I got these rocks. I'll just throw them at the fire.
Y'all want to go skip rocks and a nice little pond about 4 meters down the way? Yeah.
Yeah, and if you piss on me again, I'm gonna throw you in some fire instead.
You would think that this Yeti creature in the backwoods would be the main point of the story, but it is not,
Oh shit!
because we all decide to ignore this Yeti creature that's standing behind us and just continue staring into the fire. But it doesn't take long, not even 5 minutes goes by before we hear an ear-splitting scream of horror, dread, just a woman, blood-curdling scream. It pierces through the night. makes me jump up immediately. And I'm sitting here with a shotgun, like fucking tight, dude. I'm like, what the? All three of us look up into the attic window of this old-ass house on the property that he inherited. This house being over 100 years old. You can't even get in the back way because the roof has completely caved in through the back of the house. So there's only one way into the house and one way out of the house. We look up into the attic window where this screaming is coming from, and we see the face of a woman pressed up against the glass, and we see someone's hand grab her hair and yank her back away from the window, and her scream is immediately cut off, like mid-scream, just cut off. Immediately, all three of us jump into action, and my cousin, he pulls out his 9mm, and he has a flashlight on the bottom of his 9mm. Immediately pulls that out, pops the flashlight on, and starts moving towards the house and says, "Follow me, let's go." I roll up right behind him on his right shoulder with the shotgun, and I'm watching in the back door, which doesn't work because, for one, the roof is caved in, but for two, the door would have needed fixing to be able to open. So I'm sitting there looking through the windows in the back door with a shotgun to see if there's anything like peeking out, some guy trying to run out somehow through the fucking fence or through the ceiling, which you'd have to. There's no way that any person would be able to crawl through the fucking ceiling. There's just no chance. I mean, there's nails and wood and it's decrepit, falling to pieces anyway. There's no chance, right? But I'm looking through these windows as we're crossing the back door and moving towards the front door. And my buddy, he has a knife on him. He's right behind me, right on my 6. As we come up to the front door, my cousin says to me, "We're going to do this SWAT style. You put your hand on my shoulder and your friend puts his hand on yours. Do not take your hand off of my shoulder. You're going to cover 3 o'clock. I'm going to cover 12 o'clock. Your friend is going to cover 6 o'clock. We're going to move in. We're going to clear this house out. And we're going to find out what the fuck's going on in here." So he kicks the door open, immediately starts sweeping the first room. And it's a small house, but it has 2 stories. And the first story is just 4 rooms in a almost perfect like square pattern. We're entering the first room, which is a little living space, and then past that is the kitchen area. So as soon as we open this door, I can see into the kitchen where the roof has caved in through the back. He flashes his light to the kitchen, and immediately I see what looks like a face just hanging out inside the caved out area of this caved in roof. No person would be hanging out in the rafters of caved out roof. Yep. Dude, there's no chance. But I seen this fucking face and just the 2 eyes gleaming. You know how eyes gleam when light hits it? That's what I seen, the 2 eyes gleam, and then I could just see a face and a smile. Just the lips, the eyes, and face shape of a face. It is a super white face. It's like blanket cold white. But he flashes through the kitchen. He checks through here. I don't know if he's seen it or not, but he continues moving forward, moves up to the corner, and clears the secondary room and then the 4th room. In one clear motion, about 30 seconds, we're able to clear the entire first floor. Now, mind you, this is backcountry dark. Absolutely pitch black. Where his flashlight is shining, you can see. Past the line of his flashlight, absolute chaos, darkness. I can't see my friend. All I can feel is his hand on my shoulder. I cannot see my own hand in front of my face. So whenever he moves the light this way, my shotgun is pointing at darkness. Nothing but complete. I can't even see the shotgun. No fucking idea what's in front of me. It's dark, chaotically dark. One of the darkest places I've ever been in. That house had some type of blanket darkness in it. So he clears the 4 rooms on the first floor, and we move into the back corner room. He doesn't even address what the fuck was in the kitchen.
Yeah. We
go to the back corner room where there is an old hand-built wooden staircase. Some of the stairs have completely rotten out, so you have to step up and over. the second stair completely rotted out, not even there. The third stair cracked all through the middle, and looks like if you put too much weight on it, it'll just snap right through. So you got stair 1, you can step on it. Stair 2, nothing. Stair 3, enough weight will crack it. So immediately you're like, you have to like press up on the walls and spider climb, because I'm a rather heavier dude, and my cousin's smaller. He's a smaller built dude, so he goes up with a handgun immediately. Well, before he goes up the staircase, though, he says, y'all stay down here. Don't follow me. Stand right next to each other. Don't move. Stay in this room. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to fucking stay down here, but all right. I don't want to stay in the darkness where I can't see jack shit from nothing, but all right. So he takes the handgun and he goes up the staircase, and he's lightweight and quick and small. So plus he's only carrying a handgun. He's able to get up the staircase rather quick. And when he gets to the top, all I hear from him, and before I quote this, he's always been a very spiritual, religious person.
Yeah.
Never heard him cuss before this. Never once heard him say a bad word, not even damn. Like, the most he'd be like, dang it, like, I hear him get to the top of the stairs, and he said, what the fuck? And I was like, what? What's going on? Are you okay? Are you good? What's going on? No answer. I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm sitting here with my buddy, and like 10 seconds more of just silence goes by, and he's standing up there by himself. The only light is produced that's in that attic. I'm like, fuck, I can't sit here any longer. I'm going to see what the fuck's going on up there. I told my buddy, I say, you stand here, don't move, I'm going up. I take the shotgun, and I one hand and I lean it against the wall with one hand, and I use my other hand to press up against the wall so that I can hop up and try my best not even to use much weight on the third stair. So I like push up, put a little bit of weight on the third, and jump to the fourth, basically. I do a big hop to the fourth stair. And luckily, didn't fucking go through the damn staircase on my way up. So I get up to the top, and now the only thing you can see is his waist down, because he's dropped the handgun like this, and it's just pointing at the ground. So you can see his waist, and then you can see the ground and the area around where the light protrudes through the attic.
Yeah.
What I seen when I got to the top of the staircase, immediately, I seen a bed upside down, flipped over, the bottom pieces all pointing up towards the fucking sky, pillows and blankets flung about, scattered all over the place. And I see my cousin just standing there in complete and catatonic state, unmoving, unspeaking, just light, staring at the floor, looking at what's going on around. So I'm like, well, I can't be having this. So I tap him on the shoulder, like tap, 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 and he doesn't move. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to step past you. Don't fucking shoot me. So I had a shotgun. I was like, I'm right here. I'm going to step past you. And what was in front of me was the brick chimney, and behind the brick chimney, hidden, was the window in which we saw the girl's face get yoinked away. So at this point, we have not completely cleared the attic. You can't see the window. He just got to the staircase, seen everything flipped, and went catatonic.
Oh, right? Shit.
And I'm afraid he might snap out and, like, shoot me in the darkness or something. So I walk up, I'm like, John, hey, you good? Look, I'm gonna move past you, all right? I'm gonna move past you. I'm gonna check past this brick chimney. Don't shoot me, all right? Doesn't say fuck all, not a damn word to me. So I pull up the shotgun, and with a little bit of light that's just beaming off the ground, I move up and I clear, and I can see the window. I don't see nobody in there. And I clear the rest behind the chimney. Like, fuck, there's nobody up here. So I walk up, and I'm staring at the glass where her face was, and I can see fingerprints on the glass. So I'm looking at the fingerprints, and I just move my hand out, and I put my hand right on the fingerprints, just like that. Touch these fingerprints, and a fucking loud boom echoes from the first floor, like somebody just knocked over an old ancient cabinet full of shit, dude. Like it sounded like a football player. Like it sounded like the Kool-Aid man just busted through the fucking door.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what in the fuck was that? It was so loud, it broke him out of his catatonic state. The guy that wouldn't respond to me for shit.
Yep.
Yeah. I come back around the chimney, and he's already going down the staircase with a flashlight and the gun like this. I just immediately see him going into action down the staircase. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. So I'm right down the staircase behind him, because at this point, when he leaves the attic, black out, darkness, nothing. I cannot see nothing but his light and my only way out of this fucking attic leaving. And I'm like,
plus one of you guys
shit,
down there.
Dude, I almost didn't even care about the third stair at this point. I was like, if I fall through it, at least I'm down the stairs. So I fucking about jumped down the stairs. Jumped over the third, second, and first staircase all the way to the ground floor. Hit the ground floor behind him with the shotgun, and I seen him pointing the light at the floor where I could see his legs and my friend's legs. And I just raised up the shotgun about 45 degrees where I could watch the staircase, and I could watch the doorway and watch the staircase while I can see them standing right here. And I basically come up and I put my hand on his shoulder, like, I'm behind you, John, and I just lean my shoulder against his so I can have two hands on the shotgun and watch both of these areas. And he sits down there. He got down there and said something to my friend before I got down there. I don't know what he said, but when I got down there, I said, buddy, did you fucking hear that? And he said, what are you guys talking about? I said, did you not hear that fucking massive fucking explosion that just happened down here with you down here? And he was like, I didn't hear nothing. So my buddy John, I go silent off of that. I'm like, how the fuck did he not hear nothing? My buddy John lets about 10 seconds of silence go by. My cousin John, rather.
Yeah.
Let's 10 seconds of silence go by before he says, yeah, I think it's time for us to leave. And when he says that, as soon as the fucking sentence finishes and comes out of his mouth, we hear the unmistakable sound of cowboy boots with spurs walking across that attic. You know the classic sound of heavy cowboy boots, just a fucking cowboy's walk, dude. Yeah. The spurs and all, you just hear it walk across the attic that we were just walking through. And all three of us were like, yeah, we'd like to go too. Go back to the SWAT style, put my hand on John's shoulder, my buddy puts his hand on my shoulder, and we go out the door following John's flashlight. Get back in the car, and that was the quietest drive home I've ever had. We all just sat in fucking silence. But to cap it off, I did have a talk with my friend afterwards, and somehow I found out that he didn't put his hand on my shoulder on the way out. He said he said he just followed the light out. I don't think he said that to like try and further, because this was already a pretty fucking sketchy story to begin with. I don't think he said that to try and freak me out or anything, because I don't freak out easy anyway. But I just thought about it. It's like
strange.
Yeah, a little bit strange. Like the whole fucking thing was quite strange.
You experienced apparition putting his hand on your shoulder.
Maybe he's trying to follow me home.
I think so.
But look at this. Also, I talked to my cousin after that about the event, and I asked him, I was like, what did you think about that night? You remember that, right? The woman and the white Yeti, and we went and cleared through that house and everything. And he went cold white. I seen the color flush from his face, and he didn't even respond to me. 2 months later, he had the place up for sale. 6 months later, it was gone. No longer in his possession. He didn't spend another night at that place after that night, and he hasn't talked to me about it since. Hasn't said a fucking word to me about that night. In fact, he goes cold white whenever I mention it.
Oh, damn.
All right.
He saw something that made him.
When he
go
went
that
up there
cacti.
alone, bro, I don't know what the fuck he seen when he went up there alone, but he won't talk to me about what he seen when he went up there.
All right. Well, Johnny, you ready to sign off, my guy?
Yep. After a night of supernatural and experiences
Didn't
that
get
we've
much
all
sipping.
had.
I'm kind of hungover today, so. But
Yes,
shout
he
out
is.
Sazerac Rye. I'm gonna be in New Orleans next week, so that's my
B Money, thank you for coming as well.
Yeah, thank you, B Money, for coming.
Kenny, thank you for coming, brother.
Thank you for coming, Kenny, Sean Johns, Johnny Lee.
And
I think next episode I'm gonna have some. I'm gonna do some notes taken, and we're gonna talk about like history of Lexington.
yes, we
hauntings.
will, because there's a lot of haunted places here in Kentucky, especially Lexington,
Yeah.
that no one ever talks about.
Yeah, so that'll be the next episode. But
Like, if you go on YouTube right now, you can actually look up where they're talking about these haunted places here in Lexington.
I think that'll be the next episode. But with that, Leon Lexington signing off.
I sip with the Supernatural episode 1, done and dusted. When we
Black
do
Kitty
episode 2,
Cat,
we'll
the
let
Black
you know.
Snack, signing out.
That's right. And if you ain't having fun,
You ain't getting none.
damn Skippy. Yeet yeet.